So the Democrats had their debate today, the 10th of these debates.
God, they're so tedious.
This was terrible. This was the moderators were garbage. They had no control, and all of the candidates were just trying to talk at once, trying to stand out. And the truth was, it just ended up being a mash of noise, and I don't think it's moved anything for anyone.
I don't think these debates move the needle at all unless somebody really, really strikes a blow, and that's what everybody's waiting for. But because there are so many of these damn things, everybody tunes out. So what do you have? You've got, Elizabeth Warren down here at 5th place, having a fight with Mike Bloomberg at 3rd place. It's like, this is people fighting over scraps.
Yeah. Well, as they tried to have a swing at Bernie Sanders, here's part of what happened today in that debate.
Mike Bloomberg started off a lively CBS News debate with an attack straight to the heart of Bernie Sanders.
Vladimir Putin thinks that Donald Trump should be president of the United States, and that's why Russia is helping you get elected, so you'll lose to him.
Hey, Mr. Putin, if I'm president of the United States, trust me, you're not going to interfere in any more American elections.
The candidates piled on Sanders since he's the current frontrunner. They argue Sanders' socialist platform couldn't attract the broad voter base needed to win the general election against President Trump.
If you think the last 4 years has been chaotic, divisive, toxic, exhausting, imagine spending the better part of 2020 with Bernie Sanders versus Donald Trump.
I can't stand that Mayor Pete bloke. Like, honestly, I know that he's very clever, but he just seems like this sort of the ultimate McKinsey's construction of a person, and then you sort of put in the things and he says the right things. And I love, there's a thing that's doing the rounds on the internet at the moment. I wish I could show you. I forgot to put it in the system, which is when he tries to talk like Obama. The same cadence, the same it's the words, and he's just trying to invoke that. But as we mentioned at the start, Bernie Sanders, the assumption that he's as unelectable as Trump was. Well, guess what? Trump got elected.
This is the thing, Paul, and we were talking about this before, and you are absolutely mirroring exactly what I was thinking about earlier today, is that Bernie Sanders, he is the reason why the Democrats are in such a pickle is because they never figured out how to deal with an insurgent candidate from the Republican side of the ledger in 2016, and now they've got one inside the party. They should have let him run against Trump and just lose last time around and get that all out of their system. Now they've got this huge pressure of hard left, intersectional, crazy nonsense, and it's all driving Bernie Sanders really far. But the thing about Bernie Sanders is he is like Trump. He is kind of the anti-Trump, but he's made of the same clay. He can also talk to working class people. He can talk to people who believe in America. He actually does like America in a funny sort of way that I think the other candidates, when they're around the American flag and real Americans, you always get that sense that they're sort of holding their nose a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, ooh, icky factory workers. Well, yes, I guess we'll let you keep your jobs if we have to. Just vote for me now. We'll ship it off to Mexico.
Correct. I'll have a photo with a worker, but I have no interest in standing up for one. We'll get Henry on the line in a second or two if you guys tell me if he's there or not. But also what's worth noting here too about this overall where the American election sits right now. We know it's South Carolina. Biden will win by a lot, by a little, but who cares? Because then Super Tuesday, a couple of days later, means money kicks in. But Sanders is winning everywhere, bar Virginia, I think.
And that's the thing. I mean, it's like because the Democrats run their thing in a way that's proportional to the number of delegates you get. So he's picking up delegates everywhere. But the thing that makes it really complicated is that you have everybody else picking up little clumps of delegates here. So as they start to move to that convention in Milwaukee, and you've got Bloomberg sort of hovering around here. Now, I just want to talk about Bloomberg for a second, because Mike Bloomberg, he is the actual real-life version of all the cartoon stuff they say about Donald Trump. You want racism? You got it. You want sexist comments? You got it. You want a guy who is absolutely in the pocket of a foreign, nasty dictatorship country, namely China. You got it, because this guy, through his bond fund, which he runs through Bloomberg LP, which is a company that made him tens of billions of dollars, he has shipped huge amounts of American capital overseas to China, clipped the ticket every step of the way. And now he says he won't call Xi Jinping a dictator.
Yeah.
He says, oh, well, he has to answer to his people, just like we have to answer to ours. And so I think that is really the big danger for America. If, God forbid, Mike Bloomberg came into power, the whole country would be a subsidiary of the Chinese Communist Party.
But also, and look, we'll get some calls in a second here, by the way. If you guys want to call, and in fact, there's a lot of people wanting to talk about Townsville tonight, fine, fair enough. Jump on the line. We'll take some very shortly, 1300 30 34 35, while we're about to hook up with our mate in Washington, D.C. One last thing before we finish up here. What I find so what I just find interesting for people to know is how, we all know how fake politics is. Well, in that room today, because Mike Bloomberg, of course, did so badly last week, he wanted to turn around and made it look like he was a lot better this time. So, okay, he didn't quite sort of faint like he did last time, but he had a lot more vocal support inside the room cheering for him. Well, it turns out to get a ticket to go to the debate today cost up to $1,700 to $3,000. And there was one voice in particular that kept, every time Bloomberg was halfway through a sentence, woo, yeah! It was like, didn't matter what he said, right? It was like not even an applause line. I think in the next couple of days, I'm just going to throw that out there, someone somewhere is going to expose the actors that were paid for to be the studio audience for Bloomberg.
Well, as they'll say, he was saying boo earns,
Very true.